Distraction. Either be nothing, know you're nothing, and or figure out what you want to be and then be it. What do you want to be? You want to realize what's really going on.
Yeah.
You want to see what you really are before you be anything. But before you are something, you're nothing.
Well, I just don't want to be lying to myself. I just want to be like prioritizing truth.
Okay. And here it is, you can't lie to yourself because there is no solid you. Not even the solid you of, absolutely speaking, you're nothing. You don't like that answer? Why not? What would you like? You mentioned love?
Well, yeah, so we're in my confusion here.
That's good.
Yeah, okay. So when you suggested that, I was practicing, okay, I want to be loved. Kind of feels right. And what is love? Well, I think of this definition of allowing everything to be exactly the way it is.
Beautiful.
That's great, but I want just a little bit more than that. You know, I want something...
Yeah, then be that too.
That I can hold on to. I want
like
something...
What?
Does it feel like it just kind of goes away as soon as you think it? Like you think it and then it's gone and then you doubt it? It's really like, it's like you're building and you at the end of building a house, you have a house and you live in it. You know it's a house because it has walls and everything. But does it feel like something that you're building but you don't really know that it's a house that you can live in?
Yeah, that's right. I would say it differently, but that's what I'm talking about. It's like I try to look at me and I get this glimpse, and I know I've talked with you about this before, but it's like this glimpse of nothing. It's beautiful, and then I'm back in this confusion of assuming that I'm something that I'm not, or that doesn't really seem to be me when I really check it out. I think I've asked my question. It is like what he's saying, like, I'm looking for a house I can live in, yeah. I'm looking for a sense of rest.
Can you be rest?
Well, only
Can you see rest?
fleetingly.
Can you
see
see rest? Can you picture it? Can you picture the sense of rest? Like, what is it to you? If you couldn't picture it, you couldn't desire it. So you have some picture, at least some idea.
Mm-hmm.
You have some resonance, you have some representation of what rest means to you, right? Can you find that? Can you see it? Maybe visualization, maybe you picture yourself at complete ease, maybe you see a field of possibilities that are all at ease, or whatever it is. But what is it for you? What's the symbol? Can you see it? Can you imagine rest? Or whatever it is you really want?
Yeah, somewhat.
What happens to you, to your system, to your beingness, when you see it?
There's a relaxation.
There's a rest.
Beautiful.
There you go. So if you can see it, you can be it. Because the seeing and the being are inseparable. So if you can, that's why imagination has a value, and it's not just delusional. Because if you consciously, deliberately imagine is simply a different word for embody. And what we're all looking for is the embodiment of a certain quality. Whether we call that quality our true selves, or our restful selves, or our peaceful selves, or our still selves, or our non-seeking selves, imagine it. What is it to you? What would it be like? And see that you're already immediately experiencing more of it. You're embodying the very thing that you're seeing.
Mm-hmm.
So can you see it?
Yes.
Can you repeatedly see it?
Yes.
Can you constantly see it? For as long as you like, or is comfortable? Like, could you sit down for 2 minutes and just keep seeing it?
Well, in pulses like that, yes.
Mm-hmm. That's good. Everything works in pulses, so that's good.
Okay.
Can you see that the pulsing itself is also actually very soothing, very restful? Never mind. Can you see rest?
Yeah, I can see everything.
And does it have a different sensation with it? A different state of being that comes? That you allow yourself to become a different state of being when you're seeing that rest?
Yeah, it's restful and energized. It's like...
Is that what you want?
Yeah.
That's what I mean with be what you want to be. Don't wait for it. Unless what you want is the waiting for it. And then we keep picturing that we're waiting for it. And then we keep feeling like it's not here. And we keep feeling like it's an objective thing and we really want to know what's going on. As if there's something that's actually going on, as opposed to something that's not actually going on. But if we just see immediately what we want to be, what we want to embody, we become it. And then the question of seeking isn't really there. Especially the more you do this, the more you embody it like this, the more you confirm to yourself that it is up to you to either be the rest you want to be, or to be the seeking for the rest that you want to be. The choice is yours. You don't have to wait for any answer that's going to reveal that objective truth, because there's no objective truth. There's no objective house to live in. They're all optional houses. There's infinite houses you can live in. And you can jump from house to house too. Nobody's living in any of them. They're all available. They're all for rent. And you don't have to pay anything, just your attention. Just have to pay a little bit of attention. One may say 2 seconds of attention every month required. Some may say 2 minutes of attention per month. But they're all free. They're all available. They're on the market. And the market is really good for buying right now. So just imagine what you want to be. If ever, do it now. Embody. Choose the houses that you most prefer. And be them. And you'll have the realization that you're looking for. But now that you think, or before you've seen this maybe, you thought that it's this objective thing, like an apple you can pluck. Like this actual thing that's somewhere out there that you need to locate and then get your hands on. But it's not like that. It's not out there. It's not objective. You know what I mean by that? That it's not, we feel like we're seeking for something that's actually there. Like this is really there, and that's not really there. And I'm in what's not really here, but I want to see what's really there. But it's not really there. You all create it. We're creating everything, including spiritual states of being, including realizations of non-duality. We're all becoming available to that which is already available inwardly, subjectively. The subject contains all and everything. If you realize that, you stop seeking for the rest as if it's this objective thing with set properties that require certain qualities and certain activities. Whereas if you simply imagine what you want, you realize, oh, I'm already being more of that, simply by imagining it. And so, when restfulness gets maybe tiring, maybe not, but when restfulness gets, maybe you have a period where you're not interested in restfulness. You've recharged your batteries, and maybe you're more interested in doing something you're passionate about, or finding a different state to sort of play with. Like maybe you want to cultivate compassion all of a sudden, or maybe you want to be in a space of wisdom and clarity, or whatever it is. Know that all these states, all these innate qualities of consciousness, of awareness, are already available, and they're subjectively available. They're within the subject, because the subject is all there is. Even the world out there is the subject. So anything you can ever find was already available within the subject as a potential, but now you've expressed it within your own consciousness so that you can experience it as tangible. But you already experienced it before it became tangible, because you were able to imagine it. That's what imagination is. Experiencing the intangible. It's equally real as the tangible. It's just not tangible in this way. But we have a desire to crystallize certain experiences to such a degree that we can say, oh, we have a full bodily experience of it. So imagine it, which naturally triggers the embodiment process. So you see, there's nothing outside yourself. The question isn't what's really going on. The question is, what do I want there to be going on within me? That's what's really going on, all the time. That's why you can continuously keep seeking if you call yourself a seeker. If you imagine that you're seeking for something out there. What you're embodying is the imagination, the energy, the intangible energy of the seeker. You're making that visceral. You're making that tangible. And so after a while you start to think and believe and feel like you're the seeker. You're crystallizing that experience. And then from the seeker's point of view, you want to know what's really going on. But nothing was really going on in the first place. The universe is empty, neutral, and meaningless. It's taking its cue from us, consciousness. So when you are asking life, what's really going on? Well, that's a valid question and can be very helpful to ask to sort of come to a state of clarity, to have that burning desire, okay, I just want to be clear. It can help sort of pierce through whatever veils of stuckness you may have a little bit. But other than that, it's not an accurate question. If it's helpful, by all means ask it. If it brings you to a state of clarity, by all means ask that question. But purely from the verbal point of view, it's not an accurate question. You're asking the universe what's really going on, but the universe is asking you what's really going on. See what I mean? So that's how the seeker keeps seeking, because it doesn't work. You can't find something out there, because whatever's out there is listening to you all the time. There is no out there separate from you. So whatever you say it is, it will turn into that. And so you keep creating these mirrors right in front of your face, these dreams right in front of your face. Because it doesn't have a substance of its own. It doesn't have an intention or agenda of its own. It doesn't have a desire of its own. The only desire of the isness of all that is to know and celebrate and express itself. But other than that, it doesn't have any specific desire. Its only desire is for you to become part of its celebration, to become that co-creator, that co-realizer, that co-being. So all the while that you're asking life, what's going on, life is asking you, what's going on? What's going on? You tell me. No, you tell me. No, you tell me. No, you tell me. No, you tell me. And it's never going to be there. That's why some people that are seeking can seek until the end of their lives, because there's nothing there. So as long as you keep believing that there's something external to yourself to be found, like an objective apple in a tree you can walk to and grab, you're always going to seek, because there's nothing there. The clearer you realize that, the more fun it becomes. Maybe a little slap in the face at first, because we all want that external meaning. We want to find that objective realization. And so to discover that there is no objective truth, there's only the subject, which contains everything. And that's the only truth. That there is only one. And that all is contained in that one subject, that one consciousness. That's the only truth, but that's not an apple you can pluck. It's not an objective thing. It's the subject itself. It's you. Are you not a subject? Are you an object or a subject? Both are not entirely true, but conventionally speaking, are you more a subject or more an object?
Subject.
So in a sense, your true self is the subject, right? Rather than an object.
I guess so.
Right. So life is asking you. Because the energy that's within consciousness or within awareness and inseparable from it, that energy is neutral. Just imagine a neutral state of energy. A formless, shapeless state of energy. Before energy becomes something, before electricity becomes visible, or tangible, or felt, it's invisible. Before energy becomes something, it's formless, it's neutral, it's empty. Devoid of meaning, devoid of substance, devoid of form. Can you imagine that? Just a neutral field of blank energy in a sense. Brim and alive and humming in a sense, but neutral. Other than aliveness, it doesn't have any qualities of its own. It's only its inseparable presence of aliveness, of consciousness itself, that has a quality of its own, you could say. But other than that, there is no quality to it until you point it out. It's like clay. You can form it into anything you like, and then it seems to become something. We're just playing with neutral energy. Even when it takes shape, it's still neutral at its core. But we're just playing with it. That's the play of consciousness, the play of Maya, or the illusion. And that's what it's actually meant for. It's meant as a mirror for the one to get to know itself and to express itself, to play with itself. Does it make sense?
Kind of. I mean, it's foreign in my way of thinking.
Mm-hmm. Do you like your way of thinking?
I'm not satisfied. No, I'm unhappy with it.
Do you like my way of thinking? Maybe not. You're allowed to say no.
I'm more than intrigued.
Does it resonate?
Largely.
What would resonate even more? What could I say to you that would fully resonate? What would satisfy all your questions?
I don't know. Well, I have a question about love, and I'm not sure how to answer it. I don't know.
And what would be the ideal answer?
Okay, what would I really like to hear?
Yes, what would you really like to hear?
That it's realistic, feasible, beautiful, and honest to be, I want to be love. I want to be this joyful, alive, allowing emptiness, and also with some kind of quality like warmth or joy. And I want to be that, and I want to embody. I want that to animate this body and do things in the world.
Do you want that more than
As
anything
love.
else? Is that your main desire, so to speak?
Yeah.
That would be your bliss? That would make you happy? That would make you really like, yes. Like, I am where I want to be. This is what I want to be. This feels right. This feels true.
Yeah.
Good. Then where does the search for an objective, what's really going on, coming in? That doesn't have to be there in order for you to be love. In fact, when you start being love and accepting that there's nothing out there to realize, you'll realize anything you need to realize and desire to realize. All the apples of the tree that doesn't exist will come dropping right in your hands. Too many to count. You need 2 big baskets. But the moment you project it out there and say it's an objective realization that has properties and that everybody realizes in the exact same way, and I need to get there too, and I need to meet the requirements, and I need to seek for it, I need to dig through something to get there, then it's going to be very hard to even receive 1 apple of wisdom.
Yeah, I really thought I had to have to let go of my preconceptions, open my eyes to see what's there.
Yeah. What's here? See what's here. What wants to be expressed through you. That's the only objective importance.
Yeah.
What wants to be expressed? What wants to be experienced?
It's love, I'm describing. There's compassion.
Can you see it? Can you imagine that love? Can you visualize it? Can you sense it? Recognize it? Imagine?
Yeah, it has a lot of images. Yeah.
Yeah. And they all work, right? You all feel more love because of them? The images, when you're imagining them, does it do something to you? Do you embody a particular frequency of consciousness, which we could call love and compassion and allowance?
Yeah.
Then where is your seeking going, my friend? Why the seeking? Why are you not utterly confident? Why are you not absolutely convinced that you can be love? And that in fact you are love. Because you see, you're not just one thing. You're not just one quality of consciousness. Like I said, all qualities of consciousness are available at all times right now. We are all things. We are the rapist. We are the killer. We are the seeker. We are love. We are all of these equally. Again, the question is not which one is true. Some are in closer alignment with the idea that there is only one, that there is only unity, that all is one being. Love would be in higher resonance to that, but not any more valid or not any more present than hatred. Hatred is an equal expression of the one love, of the one life, of the one consciousness. Equally valid. It just resonates at a level that we could say, conventionally speaking, it's more out of alignment with the idea. It's a greater distortion away from the idea of unity. And yet, no matter how far away it looks like it's removed from the idea of only one being, it still is that one being. All is within consciousness. So again, the question is not, am I really love? And can I really find, can I discover, can I see somewhere out there or in here, can I come to the objective realization that, now I realize the love everybody spoke of, as if it's this externalized apple that you can pluck. I've reached this particular tree, I've looked for this tree all my life. And now finally I know the love they speak of. Yes, I am love. No, you're everything. To know that brings about a quality of love. But you are everything. So again, the question is not what are you, but what do you want to be? Do you want to be a frequency that is in immediate resonance with the highest idea, the idea that's closest to an objective truth you could ever get to, which is that all is one eventually, that all is one being? Love is a very, very close frequency to that. And so it's highly enjoyable. It's highly beneficial. But it's equal to the depression or the hatred. And again, you're all of these things. And the true love is all of these things. Seeing that you're all of these things brings about a frequency of love. That is, in a sense, a transcendent frequency of love, because it sees even what we label non-love, as part of the one. But you're all of these qualities. Which one would you prefer to be? Embody. Which one would you prefer to express and be a play of? Which game would you like to play? The game is open. There's infinite games to be played. Infinite slots still available. Which one are you going to pick? Universe is waiting for you. Don't wait for it. It is never going to come. Because it doesn't have an agenda. It doesn't have an objective agenda. You're the only one with an agenda, and you're meant to have, to some degree, an agenda. You're meant to have, to some degree, some autonomy, some intelligence. You're a portion of, you're a spark of that one intelligence. And so you as a being are a mirror to that one intelligence. And your purpose as a portion of the one is to experience and express, or to learn and celebrate whatever quality of the one you see as most beneficial. So what do you want to be? Not what are you, because you're nothing and you're everything. And you can never really, in that sense, objectively realize that. If you don't start playing with these different frequencies, you can never fully understand that you really are nothing and everything. So start playing and you'll get to the realization of what you are, but it will seem very uninteresting to you. Because you see that there is no purpose or value in realizing what you are, because the very purpose of being is to be whatever you want to be. To choose your own reflection of the one, your own unique reflection and expression. So what's it gonna be? What would you like? You've just expressed it. So why not be more of that? Realize that there's nothing out there to realize. The only thing to realize, the only thing to practice in that sense, is more of the frequency you want to be. And all else you're seeking for will be revealed through that process. Imagine love. A few minutes a day, repeatedly. See what happens. Gain more confidence in this love. See how it starts to resonate for you. See how you become a beacon of light and love simply by imagining your image of love. You're imagining the intangible reality. Your imagination is like a tuning fork. It's tuning in to a particular frequency of consciousness. And so it appears from this physical focus like it's imagination, but it's just as real as this is. Or as illusory, whatever you will. Both are the same. It's a real illusion. This illusion is real.
So I want to be love, and I want to animate this body.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I like your desire.
Situation.
Anything stopping you? Good. That's great. The only thing that seems to stop you is when you think there is the objective apple you need to go to. That itself is the obstacle. That assumption is the obstacle. We assume that that is real, and then we think there's obstacle to getting to that apple, but the very image of that external apple, or that external realization, that objective realization, that itself is what's keeping us back. So when you see that now, you see that, I can be any frequency I like to be. You'll naturally realize more and more of the true simultaneity of existence. That all is one, one is all is nothing, nothing is everything, and da-da-da-da-da. But you'll just be having fun because you'll be playing with it. You'll not be seeking for it as if it's a thing to realize. You see that you are all these things. The only way to realize that you contain all these things is by going within and becoming an imaginator, whatever you call it, an imaginator. That's through that tool it's embodying the frequency it wishes to be. And then at some point you can no longer see any difference between imagination or reality, because you see imagination is as real or as illusory as the physical experience. You won't call this real anymore and that fake. You'll see that all is equally real or fake, equally present. So you become free to play. Become a player instead of a seeker. What sounds better?
Player.
And you won't know what the thing is. The player discovers way more than the seeker does. Because it's not thinking of that objective thing I need to realize, doesn't keep itself stuck at that illusion. It goes beyond, it just plays, just like a kid, like a child. It just goes for it. It realizes there is no one realization, therefore all is equally a realization of the one, just different flavors of the one. In that sense, from that perspective, you can never realize the one, you can only become more and more of the one's expression. And through that embodiment, through that being more of the one, more of the authenticity of your being, to expand within yourself like that, to become more of consciousness's availability, is to communicate more with the one, to realize more about the one. But it's done through field exercise, not through studying the books. Just like any other practice. Studying the books is only to let you know what this is about, generally speaking. And then you throw out the books and you start practicing. You become part of the hobby. You become part of the game. That's how you realize the game. So be love, my friend. Because it's already available. You already are love. So it's just a matter of using imagination, using your conscious, deliberate focus to tune into that frequency and see how, by simply doing that, by joyfully thinking of it, you're actually becoming it. And you're realizing many different aspects of it, and you're becoming it in everyday life more and more.